Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to the Ninja Warrior podcast, and tonight we are finally covering the All-Stars special for AW13.
Or the All-Stars Spectacular, if you want to go by what the show we named it for some dumb reason.
Yeah, I don't get why, but yeah, that is going to be today's thing, and we are super behind.
Yeah, by the time recording this, we are... season 14 just started, and episode 1 aired. I probably has aired more by this point, by the time the video releases, because I've been having a hard time finding time to do things, like, because finals.
Yeah, finals suck. It's early June right now, so things are still hectic in our schedule, so that's why we haven't been up to date at the moment, but either way, we still have an All-Stars special to cover, and how'd you guys think about this? We'll go into detail.
Honestly, very disappointing. Like, honestly.
Yeah, there was only 4 events this time, and we didn't have like a team competition or anything. Yeah, like, we're definitely gonna get there, but like, there was a huge lack of events, and it felt very cheapened. It kind of felt like they either A, ran out of ideas, or B, didn't have the budget for all the events they usually have for the year.
I feel like I'm not even know why though, because man, like, the stuff they had was pretty unoriginal, and the stuff they didn't have just shocked the heck out of me.
Yeah, so anyway, I guess we should get right into this with the first event, which was, apparently swing forward tag.
Yeah, because that's what I think about when we do ninja tag.
Yeah, this was very, honestly, stalemate-like, because, the first matchup between Jake Moe and Kate Lepsek, this entire event kind of felt like it would always be a stalemate. More of an endurance test, less than trying to beat out the other competitor in speed.
Yeah, especially with some of the matchups they went with here. I mean, it makes sense. It's like what they did on the, I think on the Ferris wheel, where they had just, like, 2 people who really knew each other really well.
Yeah, because we had Gil and the Kid, and Kavanaugh and Louie Alley. Here we have, first up, Jake Moe and Kate Lepsek, who were mentioned to be best friends during AW13.
Yeah, but as you may expect, they got a segment, and I think my favorite part of it has to be when Jake Moe is just like, I'm up against Kate Lepsek. Yeah, this is right. I'm so excited.
Just sarcastically saying that because he knows Kane's probably gonna beat him. I mean, he did guess his fate. Kane did end up winning. Yeah, it was basically just back and forth until Jake ended up falling off the springs, and that was that. And after that, we had Hannah Gerard and Kyle Soderman.
Yeah, so they had a segment as well about their friendship and stuff. It really wasn't all that special. Honestly, the one wasn't really all that special either. It was just that Kyle ended up catching up to Hannah, and that was that.
Yeah, if I'm being honest, it doesn't really feel close when it's just like that. When it's just like that. You know, when it feels so instant, but you know, I guess it works for what it is.
If you want to go there, yeah. Alright, but anyway, after that we had Joe Morawski and Jay Lewis.
Yep, obviously they got a segment together. I think like every group got a segment together, even if they didn't work with each other all that well.
Yeah, they did. Everyone did. I don't know why we bother mentioning, I guess, in that case, because this one wasn't really all that special, honestly.
Yeah, no, they just mentioned their previous rivalry and how, they faced each other on the Power Tower. This one ended up being Jay Shay's game, as obviously he was able to move pretty fast in the swings, and ended up catching up to Joe Morawski pretty quickly.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. Like, endurance definitely helped with that one. But Jay, like he said in his own opening, he's more used to this type of thing, so he's enough fire right past him.
Yeah, I've seen Jason do crazy stuff, because he actually goes to my gym on occasion, so I've actually met him a few times. He's done some crazy stuff, if I'm being honest. Alright, then after that we had RJ Woman and Emil Malik. I almost said his name twice.
Yes, RJ Woman faced himself. That is definitely true.
Alright, so anyway, it was the 2 of them, and this was definitely the fastest of the matches, as Emil quickly fell on his way to catch RJ as he just missed one of the swings. And yeah, that was honestly that. I don't really have anything else to say.
Yeah, so here they did one of the weirdest things. What they decided to save this event for the end.
Yeah, because this event was the only one that had 8 competitors, so they decided to do a semifinal round. So when they did the semifinal, they decided to skip that to the end of the episode. However, we're not doing that because that'd be very unstructured, in my opinion. So we're just going to go on to that right now.
Yep, so in that semifinal round, we had RJ Woolman and Jayla Lewis.
Yep, so this was definitely a little more fun than what I was expecting in terms of this competition. A stalemate where the two of them ended up hanging across from each other and just doing a dead hang to see, and instead of chasing each other. And that was definitely like, I was expecting it to happen, but it was also kind of unexpected.
I mean, OJ technically decided to actually like place his body over the swing where Jayla, she just couldn't and just dropped.
Yeah, definitely like it was a stalemate all around. Then there was Kyle Soderman versus Caden Lebsek, and this was a pretty safe bet that Kyle Soderman was gonna win, honestly.
No, I'd say the other way around.
I was kind of being sarcastic on that one. Alright, that makes way more sense. I was kind of surprised that Kyle ended up tagging Caden, but that is what ended up happening. So then we move on to the finals. Well, it was between RJ Woolman and Kyle Soderman.
Yep, this was a pretty easy matchup for Kyle as RJ, well, he was getting really close. He ended up falling while trying to reach for the next one.
Yeah, I definitely think Kyle Soderman had the advantage because during previous matchups he was doing like reaching between the swings, like he was the only one who was tall enough to do that.
Yeah, that was definitely one of the advantage because he didn't need too much strength to actually move from swing to swing while everyone else needed a lachey. He didn't. And he definitely used that to his advantage here.
Yep, and because of that he became the champion, obviously. But see, and that ends this first event. So what you guys think of it?
Personally, very unoriginal. I felt like I knew what was gonna happen, like in terms of like what type of matches we'd see, which is stalemates. Personally, it really didn't feel like too much of an innovative obstacle to me. But hey, you know, it was maybe one intense matchup and this really cool moment where the two of them just didn't stare down.
Yeah. Anyway, after that, we had the next competition, which was
honestly a pretty unique competition, if you ask me.
Yeah, so they had an I-beam that went up Mount Doyama, and this was definitely a pretty good place for the spider climb that did essentially the same thing. Honestly, I just thought this was really unique, especially considering the fact that we haven't seen an I-beam since I think season 9. Yeah, it was always pulling something out. It was always pulling something. It was always trying to be original. It was actually pretty intense. As the first matchup was between Max Feinberg and Josiah Pavel.
Yep, this was basically just a whole bunch of teenagers who had wanting to be juniors, so obviously they had to publicize that, even though both cases they were in different seasons of the show. But anyway, the first matchup was once again between Max Feinberg and Josiah Pavel, and the winner ended up being Josiah, who pulled out a lead very early. It was very early, and he ended up getting a win.
Yeah, like Josiah had way more speed, definitely.
That probably wasn't given. I would be cutting that out, but yeah.
Alright, but anyway. After that, we had Eliza Browning and Isaiah Thomas. And this was, once again, another very easy matchup as Eliza Browning was kind of slow compared to Isaiah, who quickly got it with him and ended up getting the win. In the win, we have the final matchup being Isaiah Thomas and Josiah Pavel.
This was probably the closest of all the matchups as until like the very top, it was actually pretty close.
Yeah, it wasn't until Josiah just barely was able to get a lead at like the 70-foot mark that I was able to claim a win, and this one was way faster than all the others, being finished in 21 seconds compared to the previous 28.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I'm kind of surprised at if it was done that fast.
Yeah, this thing's supposed to be hard, guys. Come on.
Alright, anyway, after that, now we have the next competition, which was the Big Dipper Freestyle.
Yep. So this was, generally speaking, a pretty, probably the most intense competition, because, unlike last year where everyone had to come up with their own thing, and just show off what they got, what uniquely they had. This time on, they each attached some kind of accessory to the ball or to the one itself, and made that basically a part of the career and stuff.
Yeah, for example, the first competitor was Taoyama Uchi, who attached 2 wings to his sides. He did gymnastics when he was younger, so he did the iron cross on the Dipper, and went down, I think, upside down, and did several flips off it, and that ended up getting him a 10, 9, and another 10. That was the highest score out of everyone.
Yeah, honestly, that surprised me in terms of how I ended up being, but yeah, honestly. Yep, then we had Nick Hansen, who had a story about him, how basketball was a very popular sport in Alaska. Okay, then, fine enough.
Yeah, it's like a who cares, but because it's like a who cares type of thing, but it's because he had a water basket that was floating in the water, and he was going to have Krista Ganji throw it up to him, and Krista Ganji is a horrible thrower.
Yeah, as he didn't throw it high enough, so Nick Hansen just couldn't catch it. So it wasn't really much of his fault, but it was pretty sad. What he said, he got a 3, a 5, and a 5. It was just honestly pretty funny.
Yeah, Krista Ganji, man, I think this is why they don't give you recognition.
Because you do pass, oh wow.
Honestly, I don't see any other reason.
Alright, then we had Megan Woe, the axe-throwing ninja, who decided to become the axe this time around by throwing herself into a real actual target, and we know it kind of worked.
Yeah, because she technically hit the bullseye with her foot, but it really didn't feel that way.
I mean, if she went down into a flat position, and just went right through it, then that would have been one thing. But she would have just took it down with her and just hit the bullseye with her foot.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you can really count that as a bullseye at that point.
No, she got 3 lucky 7s, so that was very interesting. Then we had Sean Bryan, who was the only guy to be fast-forwarded, and I did not like this one. And as he dressed up as this French guy with a mustache, I don't remember his name, but he was just going all crazy, and I just didn't like the act.
Really, I don't know why this surprises me, I don't know.
It was just really dull, and honestly, I just didn't like it. It didn't feel like Sean Bryan. He got a very good score by a 666. Yeah, that was probably the funniest moment of the year, because just getting the score at 666, I didn't think it would ever happen, but the fact that it did. For me, it was kind of ironic that happened on the one when I was kind of just like, what?
Yeah, then we had Matthew Richardson for the final first round. Where he got a segment on him never winning an All-Stars competition, which really made me think he was gonna win.
Yeah, definitely built it up. Najee ended up swinging out to a rope and mimicking Spider-Man, and mimicking a Spider-Man, and this felt very unoriginal, but I guess it was kind of cool.
I mean, it's kind of hard to actually do a movement like that, even if you have past momentum, so. Yeah, I feel you're not giving it enough credit, honestly, but it's your choice.
Yeah, his judge scores were 10, 9, and 8, and that's it. We get to move on to the second round.
Yep, obviously that started off with Taito Yamauchi, who did ended up doing a cannonball dive into the water. He started with the cannonball form, and then he tried to dive in, but it just turned into a big old belly flop.
Yeah, personally, this reminds me of that one time where Flip tried to do a flip, and then he just flopped over.
Oh yeah, that one time, yeah, he went sideways. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, he got a 7, 5, and a 4, the lowest score of anyone in the second round, and I think anyone, period?
No, the kids got lower.
Oh, yeah, right. Yep, then we had Nick Hansen, who had, honestly, the worst performance out of anyone out of this, so let's admit it. Dressing up as fucking Santa Claus is the worst thing you could have done.
He just taught us any kind of respect you had for him, didn't he?
Yeah, I'm, super against the Santa Claus thing, Honestly, I think it's the stupidest opening dungeon ever, and I don't understand why people tell it. I think it's stupid, personally. I know a lot of people are gonna be mad at me for this. I don't heckin' care. And, yeah. People are gonna attack you, all gonna attack you in the comments. Listen, I just find it really stupid. I really don't get it, honestly. I don't get the charm of it. But anyway, for some reason, 10, 9, a 7, you know what, I've given him now, I've just given him a 0 for the fact that he decided to dress up as Santa Claus.
Really? That isn't worth it, man. That's so unfair.
Well, listen, if you dress up as Santa Claus, then you will obviously want to piss me off.
Come on, dude!
I mean, I guess, like, it's June, so you can't really fault him for it.
Yeah, but seriously, what the heck? Anyway, after that, we had Sean Bryant, the tribute to Tayo Yamauchi, as he did several flips into the water, which ended off with a dive, and personally, not really all that special to me.
I'll be honest, I felt kind of generic, it felt kind of generic. Kind of reminded me a lot of Ethan. It kind of reminded me of that one time Ethan Swanson was in the competition, because he basically did the same thing when he was in there.
Oh yeah, well, either be 10, yeah. Sean Boyd in the beginning at 10, 9 to 7 as well, so he tied with Nick Hansen on that one. Then we had Megan Wow, who had a special guest, Jesse Graff, on Road Trick, and the two of them dressed up as butterflies, each one of the wings, and they flipped off, and they were both able to pull off a flip in sync, but the cool part was they were actually blindfolded.
Yeah, they were in full body suits that they probably couldn't breathe in, so them going into the water was probably a little more dangerous than you may think.
Yeah, Isabel was like, we didn't really think that one through.
Yeah, this was probably my favorite one, just because of the fact that the uniqueness of it. She ended up getting, I think, a 9, 10 out of 10. And Najee Richardson, who was the final one on the 24, and he definitely got that for some reason.
Yeah, no, I think Megan will deserve this one, because he ended up doing basically what he did last year with, his tribute to Sean Bryant, as, he went upside down, pushed the thing down, and then did, 2 flips and a dive. Like, I don't know why that deserves an 11 from Akbar and 2 10s.
Yeah, no, I don't get it either, but it happened.
Yeah, so because of that obviously Najee in the beginning was on. Obviously, you know, they bought his segment they bought it up in his segment because they knew he was gonna win.
Yeah, I mean, technically, I guess you could say you saw it coming because they bought it up. But I'm okay with Najee winning. Obviously, he hasn't won one yet, so it's good for him.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, I was pretty much shocked when I realized that he hadn't won one, ever.
Yeah, it's like the fact that he's always competing in always one event. Anyway, after that, we had the, unfortunately, final event in the All-Star Special, which was the Striding Steps. Yeah, this is definitely a very fun event, and even though I really would have much rather them have more events, this is an okay way to end it. So we had Football Rodriguez and Tiana Webley go head-to-head, and this was definitely a match I wasn't expecting to see, but definitely one that was pretty cool to see.
Yeah, I thought about their history together, which is probably something like we didn't really know how they became buddies, but now we know, I guess.
Yeah, Tiana Webley, in the segment, they talked about a game where Tiana just chased Flip, and Flip just went around and got her back. And I was surprised they won on the tagging competition in that case.
I guess kind of, yeah. There were no women in that tag, in the fling forward tag, actually.
I mean, to be fair, like, I feel like they'd be pretty outclassed, so I can kind of get it.
To a certain degree, yeah. Here, Football Rodriguez had the lead for practically the entire race.
Yeah, he would go faster, and, yeah, was faster all the way through. Next up was Jesse the Black versus Krista Ganji, who was just a pretty memorable matchup. The two of them had decided that whoever won did not have to do the dishes for a week, and that was certainly pretty cool. Stakes in terms of the stakes. That was certainly pretty cool in terms of the stakes. And this was probably the closest matchup, as the Black ended up getting ahead, but then the Ganji caught up, and the winner ended up being the Ganji, but for some very stupid reason.
Yeah, he literally hit the buzzer with just his fucking thumb, and they for some reason counted that.
Yeah, I mean, he missed it. Like, I don't fucking care if he missed it. I said the Black won that, but still classified as the Ganji winning it for some stupid reason, so that's what we have to go with.
Yeah, but then we had a brother and sister match between Isaiah and Isabel Wakeham, which honestly, a match that I really wanted to see, definitely.
Yep, this was another close one as Isabella busted out to a lead after the rope. Oh, but Isaiah ended up just barely getting the win, which personally I was really disappointed by, but definitely a really close matchup.
Yeah, probably closes out the original initial first round. After that, we had the final match between Jesse Graff and Michelle Warnke. Okay, two of the greats, and it ended up being Jesse Graff for this one.
Yeah, I love it. Like, you can notice like the brace on her ankle brace on her, since this was still doing late 2021 during Vegas last year. So obviously she was still injured, but I'm like, how she was okay to compete.
Yeah, she had to dip on. She got to be healed as well. Like, and you can tell, like, Jesse Graff, obviously she wasn't able to compete during with the team. They were bummed out not to have her throughout the season, so they did what they could to make her compete during the All-Stars. Like, this is definitely okay.
Yeah, they ended up being Jesse Graff for the win, so you might have already said, and that meant that for the semifinals, it was
Flip Rodriguez and Chris Ganji.
Yep, so we had Flip obviously bust out to a lead, and Chris ended up falling, actually, so that was a pretty big shocker. So obviously he ended up moving on to the finals. The next matchup was honestly my favorite, as we had Isaiah Wakeham and Jesse Graff, and Jesse Graff was able to actually beat Isaiah, which surprised the heck out of me, but I was pretty happy about it.
Yeah, so Isaiah ended up losing his balance, and Graff had a quicker turnaround, and yeah, she ended up getting the win. I mean, the finals between her and Flip, and so I don't know, she was able to match up against Flip.
Yeah, she wasn't really all that far behind. Obviously, Flip still won and got his first championship since the Mega Wall competition back in Season 7. But honestly, just really good one and really good way to end the competition as a whole.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And, yeah, that was the end of the All-Star Special. So I have two questions. Where the fuck is the team competition?
Yeah, I have the same question. Like, that was such a fun competition. Why they won't move that?
And also, where the fuck is the high-flying competition?
Yeah, exactly. Like, that was the high-flying competition. Usually one of the most limit-breaker challenges, and for some stupid reason, it's just not here.
Yeah, and it really feels like the both of them are missing.
Yeah, I get why it wasn't there last year, because, Drew and all that, but here they had an easy reason why they could have put it there. I really was hoping they would have that, twist and fly competition from last year, and they would just treat it like it was a new event that hadn't happened before. Because that's honestly what I was expecting them to do. I thought, they'd feel bad for us not being able to actually see the event in its first outing, so they would redo it with some new competitors here. Nope.
Yeah, no. And why would they do that? No, they don't have the budget for that. No. We just need to stretch out 4 separate events.
Yeah, this was pretty disappointing. They usually have like 5 or 6, honestly. The slate anyway.
Yeah, then we have the competition. So really, this was honestly a very disappointing outing, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I really wish we had more events here. Obviously, the 2 we will talk about are missing, but also more original events, because, like, the only new... because we had 2 new events, 2 old ones, and only really one of them was only really one of the old ones was pretty good, one of the new ones was pretty good. Dipper Freestyle had a few highlights here and there, but honestly, just, let's look at all that interesting, honestly.
Yeah, you can tell the ninjas bond them all, but it just wasn't all that unique this year. It doesn't really stand out. Like last year, you remember last year's Dipper Freestyle for Jesse Graff's superhero pose, for her going backwards. You remember the year before that, before Sean Bryant's impressions and him going upside down and stuff. Like, those people going, oh, that's why you remember those Dipper Freestyles. Here, it's Sean Bryant dressed up as the guy with the mustache. Tyrone Uchi used wings in his challenge because he did gymnastics when he was younger. Like, it really doesn't feel like it stands out all that well.
Yeah, I feel like the thing I'm gonna remember the most is the fucking stupid Santa Claus thing.
Oh, that's just sad. Right there.
Yeah, but Anyway, I think that's gonna do it for this episode of the Ninja Warrior podcast. Yep, next time we are finally going to be covering AW14 in the first round of the qualifiers. We are so sorry how late we are on this.
Yeah, honestly, this was definitely not the plan way we were doing it, but it just took some time, but we promise you we will be trying to cover everything. We are going to be on summer break in just a couple of weeks, so once we get on summer break, obviously we'll have way more time to do these, and yeah, I'm really excited to bring these to you guys.
Yeah, but anyway, I think that's what I see. Once again, next time we are covering the first episode of season 14, and I'm pretty excited to be doing that. And, yeah, see you guys there. Peace.